Nigeria is heating up again. The Sultan has boldly declared that Sharia is non-negotiable and immediately rushed to Tinubu right after the United States issued that shocking ban order. The question everyone is afraid to ask is simple. What exactly is going on behind the scenes? Why the sudden urgency? Why the strong stance now? Something is shifting and the tension in this country is no longer quiet. Let's listen to the full political analysis together.
Thank you. So the Sultan has jumped to Aso Rock to tell the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that no matter the negotiations you want to have with the US, diplomatic affairs on this Christian genocide or on how they want to help us in solving insecurity, have it at the back of your mind that Sharia remains non-negotiable. I mean, one of the conditions, one of the terms the United States of America has offered on the table to help Nigeria to solve insecurity, because we cannot solve the insecurity by ourselves. We don't have the technology, we do not have the progress, we don't have the technical know-how, we don't have the machineries. They said if we must solve this and for it to have a permanent solution, Sharia must be extracted from your constitution. That doesn't mean people cannot practice Islam in the Nigerian contraption. However, the insertion of that Sharia, the Sharia having that constitutional backing, must be permanently removed from the constitution. And this is where the Sultan stands. That if that is the case, let Tinubu tell the USA to go, and we will solve our problems in our own way, and in God's time we will come to the end of insecurity. I mean, these are my own speculations of what must have been discussed in Aso Villa yesterday, because we all know that ever since this issue of the United States of America, beaming light on what has been going on for decades in Nigeria, the Sultan has been speaking up. We saw the Emir of Kano State also yesterday in a similar gesture ran to the DSS that we support you in curbing insecurity in the north, that the northwest must be secured once again. They started reminding us of the old glory days of how peaceful the northwest is.
Hold on. Before we dive deeper, think about this. Why would the Sultan move so fast on Sharia now? And why involve Tinubu at the exact moment the US steps in? There's more here than meets the eye. Alliances are being tested, power is being played, and ordinary Nigerians are watching it all unfold with almost no say in what's happening. Keep listening because this next part exposes the real stakes behind the headlines.
This is the main reason why the North, the seat of the caliphate, will never allow the Sharia to be taken away, because they know that the very moment you take Sharia away, the fear, for the monarchical system, the fear of the king, the fear of you having the capacity to think critically that will demystify all their lies of centuries will begin to get exposed and, of course, get expired. These are the reasons. Because when you take a look at it, so many countries that are practicing Sharia that want to move into the path of development are down-tuning, the enforcement of Sharia, the punitive measures of Sharia, cut off the arm, do all these things, beat the woman, beat the man, all this, wear a veil, all those things. The Sultan apparently does not want that to stop. The northern Nigerian politicians, they do not want that to stop. They do not want their sons and daughters to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, because it is through this belief of of Sharia, that they will tell you that it is a Muslim ticket that can solve your problem. It is the same Sharia that has led to students picking Western education over Arabic education. But the people who brought in this Islam, or who expanded it, the Arabians, these are the descendants of the Muhammad, today are even aligning with the West. They are moving towards the Western nations for development. They are saying that they want to open their economy. They don't want to remain closed. They don't want to stay in the Stone Age. And these are the offers America is giving. Can you openly denounce Sharia in Nigerian constitution? If Nigeria wants to be a secular state, let it be a secular state. Trump the United Army, the United States, Ministry of International Affairs and all that, and African countries also postulated that, okay, fine, if we want to remain on that table that nobody wants to compromise, can we talk about restructuring the nation? Perhaps according to our faith. Okay, the core north, we have 12 northern states that are actively practicing Sharia. Can we have them carved out? The middle belt wants to stay on their own. Fine, let them be on their own. The middle belt have no problem practicing a secular state. They do not. Because in the middle belt, starting from the southern Kaduna, the southern Bauchi, the southern Borno, go down into Niger, Kogi, Nasarawa, go and check what is going on. In Nasarawa today, you hardly hear about farmer elders clashes. One, because the governor was not gullible to follow the 12 northern governor states when they go and check where this crisis happens. Most of the places where this crisis had happened, first and foremost, it originated from states that adopted the Sharia. Go and check it. Those states that adopted the Sharia as their law to guide their day-to-day activities as above the common law of Nigeria, these are the states that, allowed, they fertilized. Okay? Their states became a fertile ground in breeding these Islamic extremists. I mean, it started from Zamfara, it started from Borno, it started from Kano, it started from Katsina. These are states that accepted the Sharia. Zamfara, Sokoto, this is where we have the ISWAPs, Borno, Boko Haram. These were the first states when during those early years in 1999, 2000, 2001, when they were having that constant court fight with Obasanjo. And because of political correctness, Obasanjo doesn't want to lose votes. They waited for Obasanjo to get closer to election period and started pushing for the Sharia. Obasanjo, who should have stood firm that no, this Nigeria is not, no state will practice Sharia. We might have it, you can practice on your own, but there shouldn't be a position whereby you will now be enforcing Sharia, even because when a state adopts Sharia, as long as you are within that state, you cannot exclude yourself. You cannot be in Rome and be telling Romans that your Roman laws will not catch up with me. I'm a Greek. No. You should leave. If you know you do not want Roman laws to be implemented upon your head, then you shouldn't step into the Rome. This is where it all began. And we can see a man who is doubling down, warning the president that the Sharia remains non-negotiable. It cannot be at any point in time removed.
That analysis says it all, and honestly, it confirms what many Nigerians have been whispering for months. When powerful figures start making loud declarations, especially about Sharia being non-negotiable, it's never just a harmless statement, it's a political signal, a warning shot. And when it happens at the same time the US is issuing bans and the Sultan is rushing to see Tinubu, you already know something big is happening behind closed doors, something they don't want the public to fully understand. Let's be honest, Nigeria is being pulled in different directions by powerful blocs that don't always care about the ordinary people. One side is pushing ideology, another is pushing self-interest, and meanwhile the government keeps acting like everything is under control, when clearly it's not. This clash between foreign pressure, northern leadership influence, and the presidency doesn't just create tension. It exposes the cracks in Nigeria's unity and the weaknesses in our political system. This is why Nigerians must stop accepting official statements at face value. Every move right now, every meeting, every declaration, every reaction carries a deeper meaning. And if we don't pay attention, decisions affecting 200 million people will be made quietly in rooms we're not invited to. So stay alert, stay informed, and don't let anyone tell you this moment isn't serious. Drop your thoughts in the comments, let's have a real conversation, and make sure you subscribe for more raw political breakdowns. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Comrade Mohammed Ali Ringim, an ex-security expert. Securing lives and properties is my area of specialization. I want to see this very moment to call upon His Excellency, the United States of American President, Mr. Donald Trump, my good friend, to please be aware that Nigeria, we are not suffering from religiosism, tribalism. We are not persecuting Christians. We are always living together with Christians and Buddhists, Sikhs, Hindus, Taos, Maos, Confucians, Buha'is, Rastas, Satanists, and Shantos. All these religious denominations, if they may be at Nigeria, we are living peaceably with them because we are suffering from humanitarianism. Mr. Donald Trump, let me be aware that Nigeria is not Vietnam. Nigeria is not Afghanistan. Nigeria is not Iraq. Nigeria is not Iran. Nigeria is not Venezuela. If you attempt to encourage and make aggression and send your armed forces to Nigeria to wage war, it's an unscrupulousness. But be aware that our mosquitoes, they are waiting for your soldiers to bite them and infect them with malaria fever to die instantly. And more so, I heard last minute that Lieutenant General Chiwai Danjuma made a blatant falsified allegation against the Nigerian armed forces. He stated that Nigerian armed forces, they are conniving, conspiring, collaborating with bandits, which is a blatant falsified lie. Chiwai Danjuma, be warned. I know you very well since Murtala Mohammed administration. Before you become a madman, you are sensible. You are the chief of army staff in Nigeria. But for you to accuse our armed forces, more especially the soldiers and our security agencies, for conniving and working together with bandits, is a blatant falsified lies. And if you are among the people that are instigating United States of America to come and wage war at Nigeria, our black people armed forces, they are gallant. They can fight you.
Thank you very